Sometimes you just want hope to spring eternal.
Get that stuff out of here! It's Southwest Bias!
Welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias, presented to you by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. And we are live from Studio K. That's right, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today by downloading that Circle K app for free. Sometimes in life, and I'm kind of at that point today, I just want to see the good in things. I just want the hope. I just want to find the things that make you go, yeah, there's a chance. Yeah, things are going to be all right. I feel like we've talked about the Cardinals coaching search for so long. I know it's only been like 2 weeks, but on this program, there's so much, and it's so frustrating that I wanted to start today's show off in a different route. We'll get to the Cardinals coaching search. We'll talk about the latest candidate. We'll talk about where they are. That's coming up, I promise you. But I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns and the glimmer of hope that they've provided this valley, a desert that we're just looking for something to drink in. They've given us a pool of water to quench our thirst. They're 27-17, 10 games over 500, a team that was expected to win no more than 31 games by the experts, are 4 games away from reaching that total, and we are in January. This is the third best record through 44 games since 2008. Yeah, since the 7 seconds or less Suns, this is the third best record through 44 games. The 2021-22 Suns were 35-9. The 2020-21 Suns were 30-14, and the 2025-26 Suns are 27-17. That's right. They have a better pace through the first 44 games than the team that won 48 games in 13-14. They have a better pace through 44 games, a better record than the team in 2010 that made the Western Conference Finals. This team has put themselves in a position to do something that nobody thought was possible. And I've held off, but I'm at a point where I now want to start believing some irresponsible things. Because Jalen Green opened my eyes to a whole new world. He brought the magic carpet out yesterday, and I think the Suns and myself are ready to fly. Yeah, I told you. I'm looking for any shred of hope and excitement, and this team is letting my imagination run wild. Because if you look at the standings right now, the Suns are sitting in the 6th seed in the West, which means a playoff spot. They are ahead of the Timberwolves thanks to tiebreakers. You're up 2-0 on them. They are essentially tied with the Lakers, but the Lakers have played fewer games, which means they're slightly ahead in the win percentage, but you're tied. You're with them technically for 5th. You are a half a game back of the Rockets for 4th, and you are 2 games back of the Nuggets for 3rd. For 3rd. Hell, you're only 3 games back of the Spurs for 2nd, a team that you've won 2 games against already. I want to believe irresponsible things. And a big reason for it was Jalen Green's return last night. Was it the greatest return ever? No, it wasn't the 30 points that he dropped against the Clippers. He only had 12 points. He made 2 threes. He had 3 assists. But it was the little things. He generated 15 points from 20 pick and rolls that he was involved in. He helped get some great passes to Oso Ighodaro. He helped shift the defense to give Devin Booker more opportunities. He got to the rim and the free throw line. These are all things we said this dude would do. The speed was there. He got around the corner and he blew past defenders. You can see the blender that Jordan Ott wants to turn this offense into. You can see the excitement of it and what it could be. And that has me freaking pumped. I know that's like the least professional phrasing I could use, but that's where I'm at right now. Please respect me at this time of need. This Suns team, if Jalen Green can stay healthy, and last night we saw the acceleration that we wanted to see, the stopping on a dime. There was a lob to him that he almost got a poster dunk on if he hadn't gotten the ball hadn't gotten slightly tipped.
He was assaulted.
There was no fear. He was fouled on it, but there was no fear in him last night. And that was my biggest question mark. Would he come back with that little voice in his head saying, don't play to 100% because you might get hurt? Jalen Green does not listen to that voice. He gives the old Heisman stiff arms and says, nah, I'm going to be Jalen Green. And he went out there and he did that in game 1. Now, we all know. We know what happened in game 2 last time. Knock on wood, touch metal, whatever your thing is. But to me, it's progress. It's excitement. You see that. The bench will start to, solidify where it's supposed to be. And all of a sudden you look and you go, oh, could the Phoenix Suns actually be a threat in this Western Conference? Now, we all know where OKC is. But they've struggled. They've struggled really since they beat the Suns by 49 points. They've struggled. The Suns beat them in that time as well. I don't think they beat OKC in a 7-game series. I'm not going to lie to you. But somebody else knocks them off. There's a world where this team could surprise. There's a world where this team could be the 2010 Suns, where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we see a team that was supposed to be on the decline actually make a surprise run and make it to the Western Conference Finals. I'm not putting a mortgage payment on it, but it's certainly now in my mindset that it's not as crazy as it would have sounded 3 months ago. It's certainly not crazy to look at the West and go, you know what? There's not as many, it's not a murderer's row like we thought. It's tough. It's not going to be easy, but a path to home court sure seems like it might be aligning for you now. Injuries have taken their toll. Surprisingly poor play from teams like Houston and Minnesota have done that. The Warriors are now without Jimmy Butler due to that nasty knee injury that we saw happen. So they're not a team that's going to likely be breathing, on the back of your neck. The Lakers are a goddamn fraud. The Lakers are frauds. So I'm not worried about the Lakers sitting there percentage points ahead of you in the win percentage column. I think they win the division. I know that means next to nothing, but the Suns are going to win this division. The Lakers are destined to be behind the Suns. Whether that's the Suns are 6th, Lakers 7th. The Lakers are not going to finish ahead of the Suns unless the Lakers make some catastrophic move that shakes up the West at the deadline. And I'm not sure they're quite prepared for that. I'm not sure exactly what that move would be. But Miles Bridges, like we've heard, good luck with that. Enjoy that. I don't think that's going to fix your fundamental problems there in LA. So I'm not afraid of the Lakers. The Timberwolves have been a mess. The Suns have found a way to beat them both times they've played. The Spurs, I don't know if there's going to be one of those young team doesn't quite know how to do this yet, falls from grace for them, but only being 3 games back of the 2nd seed in the West on January 21st, some would have put you in a padded room. Some would have basically told you to get medicated if you had said this was going to happen. Some people would have just flat out laughed in your face and called you a moron. But guess what? It's the reality we live in right now. And the reality is the Phoenix Suns are right on the heels of the best in the West. And they have a chance to put a hell of a lot of pressure on a lot of teams that were supposed to just eviscerate them this season. And they may have just gotten the best name before the trade deadline in Jalen Green. Jalen Green, while the counting stats weren't perfect last night for this guy, had an impact and may just be the guy that pushes this team over the top. He did not do too much. He looked like he was trying to do everything he could to show these guys that he wants to fit in and be a part of everything that they've built. And we've learned in this town that sometimes chemistry and hard work can beat talent. Go ask the Arizona Diamondbacks of 2023. Go ask the 2021 Suns. Go ask the 1976 Suns, who were barely 500 and made the finals because they were a dangerous team. They were connected, as Torey Lovello said. Go ask ASU football from a few years ago. You can overcome a hell of a lot just by having a group like this. And Jalen Green's talents, raw talent, he's the second best guy on this roster. Probably the most athletic guy on this roster. And he's healthy now. The West is on notice. The Phoenix Suns are coming. And they have a chance to be a home court advantage team in the playoffs. And you cannot tell me that any team in the West is sitting there going, I really want to face this team in a 7-game series. Because guess what? They fight. They scrap. And when sphincters tighten in the playoffs, sometimes those are the kind of guys that win just by grit. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. Shane,
hello.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Well, you're sporting one badass hat. I'm going to tell you that.
Look, nice little custom Peter Herbstreit hat.
Look at that.
Very, very nice.
I got to tell you, I really have a lot of fun looking at when I say certain words and watching you cringe behind the camera.
Yeah, I just have to keep you honest.
I knew when I said that one choice word in the monologue that you were going to have that feeling, and it made my morning.
Made mine tighten up.
Shane, can this team actually threaten for home court advantage?
As a 4 seed and above?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Essentially a 4-seed or above.
For sure. Yeah, I think especially with some teams having injuries, like Jokic being out, there's totally a world. But even without that, I mean, this team is 10 games over 500. Are we at the halfway point? We're past the halfway point?
We're past the halfway point.
We're 44 games,
Friday.
right? So, yeah, I mean, this isn't fake. This team didn't have Jalen Green. And I know it's still going to look a lot different, like the lineups wise. He was coming off the bench. He only played 20 minutes. But, you know, I was really excited to see all three of those guys on the court at the same time. It was a little weird at the end of the game. There was not really a flow. Jalen Green was bringing the ball up, and I still have some worry about Dylan Brooks, getting hungry for shots at the end of the game, because a couple times you saw it, you're like, oh, this is going up. But yeah, I think that group is going to gel really well. It's going to be really weird to see them all three starting at the same time. But yeah, it's exciting, because what doesn't leave, the on-court chemistry, and not in a bad way, might dip a little bit just for however long, or it could mess some stuff up. But what's not going to ever be messed up is the hustle that this team has. Jordan Goodwin, the triple rebound on one offensive possessions aren't going to leave.
The gladiator, baby. He's getting it done.
The running the court isn't going to leave. Mark Williams, Royce O'Neal's just impact on both sides of the floor isn't going to leave. Colin Gillespie being one of the best guys off the bench when that happens again, that's not going to change. So, yeah, I think there's a very real chance that this team, and again, they haven't even been healthy, and they haven't played their best basketball yet.
We don't even fully know what they're capable of, right? That's the reality here, is we don't even know what they're capable of.
The most telling thing for me last night was when they were 0 for 6 from 3 or whatever. They hadn't hit a 3 in the game yet in the first quarter, and they were down like 2 points because they they knew they had to get shots from somewhere else. And it was a great call out by EJ saying, once one falls, everyone's going to start hitting. And I think Grayson, of course, Grayson was the first one to hit a three, and then Colin hit back-to-back threes. Royce hit one, and they find many ways to score, and it's exciting to not have to rely on those minutes, or not have to, as you would say, clench up in those minutes where Isaiah Livers and Jamari Bouye are on the court. Well, then they've been great because of how this team plays together, but like now that bench gets a little tighter, which is nice.
Well, Jalen Green's defense last night was impressive,
especially down the game. Yeah,
I mean, one-on-one, he stayed in front of his guy. He made it difficult. He's never going to be a world-class, end-all, be-all elite defender. But none of these guys on this team outside of Dylan Brooks really are. They're guys that know how to play within the defensive system to keep the guys in front of them. And that, to me, keeps me extremely excited for the potential that this defense won't see any drop-off, which was the big fear with Jalen Green coming back was, oh, no, the defense. I don't think they're going to see that.
An underrated thing about Book and Green playing together is Booker had that same thing early in his career where everyone was like, oh, defensively, though, he's just not good. And that was never, like, crazy true. Like, sure, he was getting bodied a little bit, but it was never like he was a traffic cone out there.
No.
But once, that was kind of an emphasis in his game, he's become a good defender. Like, I think he's a good perimeter defender. And he's shown the ability to be a great defender when it matters most. You think about the Olympics. You think about the finals run. Like, that was a different player. And Jalen's going to be able to learn from that, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure Book's going to be able to teach him some things where, look, we're not the quickest guys laterally, or, I mean, Jalen Green might literally be the quickest guy laterally, but we're not defensively. That's not what this, the best part of our game is. But here's how I fixed mine.
Big thank you to everybody, all the bias in the chat. Want to shout out our friend Drew, who said anything is possible with the Valley jerseys. Yeah, we'll go with that. The Valley jerseys, anything is possible with it. Hello to Deborah, Kara, Schaff, Drew, as I mentioned, everybody in there, all 50 some odd of you, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are not a member of the Supporters Club. Hit that join button. $5 going to get you a super chat. Going to get you that cool little badge. Going to get you emojis. Going to get you exclusive content. Why not? And if you are an audio podcast listener that just happened to find us here on YouTube, you can subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Leave a 5-star review. We're talking Cardinals coaches, candidates, and are they close to hiring Rocky as their next head coach right after halftime? Back to tell you about the husband and wife law team. I was in a serious accident with my family, and while none of us had serious physical injuries, the mental toll it took was horrible. But the mental toll of not researching my lawyer was even worse. And I got to tell you, do the research and you're going to find that Mark and Alexis Breyer and the team at the husband and wife law team are there to take care of you. They care about making sure that you get the result that you and your family deserve. So much so that they guarantee that they're going to take care of you first before they take care of their bottom line. Plus, they are certified when it comes to serious injury and wrongful death. Only 1% of lawyers are certified in the Arizona bar in that, and the husband and wife law team are. And they are prepared to go to trial if necessary. Plus, they guarantee that you can hear from your lawyer at any time you need to contact them. So if you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website in the link in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. Plus, Mountain America Credit Union. We all need a checking account. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And if you need a checking account, the My Style checking account is the one for you. Not just because it's a great place to put your money, not just because it's easy to access, not just because they have Suns debit cards, they have Mercury debit cards, not just because of that. No, it's so much more because they have great restaurant deals that you get access to, mobile phone protection, telehealth access. I can't tell you how many times having telehealth access has bailed me out. Identity protection, not that anybody wants to be me, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. That's why you need to make My Style, no, not a hoodie and a hat, the My Style checking account your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. This limited time offer ends December 31st and can be changed or withdrawn at any time. Terms and conditions and exclusions apply. Loan on approved credit. Amazing performance by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band in honor of the Cardinals' latest head coach candidate, who's from Jersey. Nice little synergy here on the program. First, shout out to Drew, who is easily the biased member in the chat of the day, who said that you need to slap that like button like it's LeBron's sciatic nerve. Hit that bad boy right now. We're talking Cardinals coaching search. Yeah, we're going to do more of it. We're going to talk about it. And I want to, before we get to the latest candidate, I want to address one thing, if you don't mind. Can we please stop with the freaking Kenny Dillingham to the Cardinals stuff? I've seen it from multiple places, including former NFL quarterback Sean King. Like, no. I love Kenny. Kenny's got his job. Kenny is busy building something special in college football in that landscape right now at a place that he is dedicated to. I know he's a lifelong Cardinals fan, and maybe in a handful of years after you fire Vance Joseph after this, maybe that's when you talk about Kenny Dillingham. But stop the madness right now. This is not something that's going to happen, nor something that should be discussed. And right now, it is simply just out there to try to gain attention. So ignore it. It's not going to happen, nor is it worth the breath that's being wasted on it at the moment. Now, you can debate whether the Cardinals should be wasting their breath on the next name that we're going to bring up. According to Ian Rappaport via Twitter this morning, he said the Arizona Cardinals are bringing in Jaguars defensive coordinator Anthony Campanelli for a second interview, in-person interview tomorrow, which is Thursday, for the head coach. Sources say he's flying in tonight. Jacksonville's emergence was spurred in part by Campanelli's unit, number one against the run. AZ gets another look. This is a name that we had not heard tied to the Arizona Cardinals, despite the fact that he apparently had an interview already. This would be his second. This would be the in-person interview, which means either they like him or they realized, hey, we're the only team that hasn't had a second interview scheduled in our coaching search. Maybe we need to throw something to the fan base here to at least give them something to talk about after Robert Saleh said, oops, no thanks. I'm going to stay here in Tennessee and sign this contract. Campanelli, good Italian guy. You know from my name, I'm good with that because I'm a good Italian guy. I don't know why I went a little bit more Italian in the way I said that. Shane Diefenbach behind the Mac, a good Italian guy. We love that. We want to see that success for another Italian guy. He's from Jersey. My dad's from Jersey. My wife was born there. You got to love that. Bruce Springsteen, and his band, somebody I love from New Jersey. A lot of things that, on the surface, I go, all right. Nothing football related, but all right. I'll listen here shortly. And then you look at it and you go, okay, well, he was a linebackers coach with the Dolphins. He was good enough that he didn't get fired when they moved on from their coaching staff at one point. He was 23rd ranked, turned the Packers 23rd ranked run defense into the 3rd ranked as a run game coordinator on defense. Sounds good. Turned the 27th ranked Jaguars D into the 8th ranked as the DC there. Sounds good. He kind of sounds like the Sopranos' Jonathan Gannon potentially to me. That doesn't mean he couldn't work. Doesn't mean that he might not be able to turn this talent that's here around. And maybe the fact that he could hire an offensive coordinator that actually would make sense, would actually call a game based on the talent that he had on his roster. It's not a sexy name. It's not a name that's going to get anybody super excited. It's not somebody that is going to make you go, whew, yeah, made the right move. Finally got that guy that's going to change things. Could he? Yeah. Could Jonathan Gannon have? Sure. Could Cliff Kingsbury have? Yeah. Could Steve Wilkes have? Maybe a little less, but he was a short-time defensive coordinator that came in with no head coaching experience. Guess what? None of them did. So you're taking a big leap of faith and asking everybody else to get excited about it. Not sure that that's going to do it. I will say this. Go watch some of the videos of him giving pregame speeches or talking on the sideline. Hey, I joked, but he does sound like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky, which is actually kind of fun when you're getting a motivational speech. And maybe it could rile up the guys. There was a clip of him giving a motivational speech to the Jaguars defense. You go, okay, I could see how you get fired up to play for this guy. But we know there's a lot more that goes into it when it comes to being a head coach in the NFL. Schaff says, we need to go offensive HC. That's why I love the idea of Mike LaFleur. I'm there with you. You're going to have to figure out how to get your offense to function here. You're going to need to do that. And if you hire a defensive guy, you're going to have to get the correct offensive coordinator that can make that happen. LaFleur is interesting, but I wonder if he pulls a Robert Saleh and says, "Nah, thanks, but no thanks. Don't want to go there. In division, seen it, not really going to do it." We're hearing Clint Kubiak likely off the board for him. Still no call to Sean McDermott. You got Brady, you got Campanelli. We'll see. None of these get me too fired up. So it got me thinking, what exactly is the sales pitch when it comes to trying to get a Cardinals head coach to come here? What are you saying that are the reasons that a guy should leave a lucrative career or take a chance to come here and become the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals? And I said, you know what? That means it's time for an Espo's Big Board where I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons why you should become an Arizona Cardinals head coach. Ready for this? Number 5 on the big board today. Number 5 is, well, that was going to be number 1, but we'll go that way. Number 5 on the list is the best Wi-Fi in the NFL. Why would you not want the best Wi-Fi in the NFL? You got that. Michael Bidwell made it very clear. All right. Let's go 2 now. We'll just go, we'll go in the order like this. Number 2. And this is the big selling point, right? Who would not want this? We've got renderings of a practice facility that you may never actually coach in because you may lose your job before then. Who wouldn't want some cool pictures of a training facility that's eventually going to be here? Maybe. Isn't that why you want to be a head coach in the NFL? Number 3 on that list. No one's going to blame you if you fail. They're just going to blame ownership and Monty Austin for it. So guess what? Free pass to practice on how to be an NFL head coach so you can get another job eventually. Maybe. Or maybe back as a DC. Number 4. Arizona's weather. I feel like we've said this for decades. Look, come on out. The weather's great. You're not going to be playing in snow. Like that's really going to convince a guy to put his career in the hands of a franchise just because, hey, the weather's nice. You can wear shorts in December. Why wouldn't you want to do that? He's in Jacksonville. If you're talking to Campanelli, he can do that in Jacksonville. I don't think that's a selling point that everybody likes you, but it's what we got. So it's number 4 and the 5th and final. And this one's actually serious. Trey McBride. Just show that literally when a guy walks into your facility or when you're on the Zoom call, just play the video of Trey McBride and his highlights from this year and go, Trey McBride is why you should be here. Come on in. But if all else fails, just remind him that the Wi-Fi is good. So you should be happy about that. And in the stadium, guess what? There's not going to be many people on it. So you're going to have really fast internet on your phone or tablet that you're using to communicate during the games or watch film. So got that going for us. We'll see what actually happens, though, and we'll see who is left when it comes down to it. The clock's ticking, and we still have no answers. We'll update you on Campanelli's interview if we hear anything on Brady or if McDermott gets an interview. Plus, you can listen to the PHNX Cardinals show today at 4:30 right here on our YouTube channel or where you get podcasts. And Johnny and Bo will break it all down to tell you exactly what the latest in the Cardinals coaching search is. And we might have Bo back tomorrow if anything comes of interest to talk to you on the program. A big thank you to Shane Diefenbach, the mustache behind the Mac. You can follow him at Shane Dief. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports, and you can follow me at Espo. And remember, good Wi-Fi, good weather. Who the hell cares? Ahoy, ahoy.
We all silly like the mayor.